Bradley does riddles. Du-du-du-du-du-du. Oh, by the way, we're live now.
Ah, okay. let me actually get the. Ah, there it is.
Oh yeah, did you?
RadTheLad talks Batman Arkansas Fireflies.
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 Human fireflies? There are human fireflies now?
It's human everything these days.
What is this country coming to? Ooh, choose a Batmobile. Do you want to choose a Batmobile first, or a Batsuit, and then a Batmobile? Also, we're back down to the lowest line. We got Zurinar. We've got anime. We've got. Okay, are we going to exclude the ones you've already chosen?
Yeah, that's only fair.
Okay, so no Bale, and we use the classic TV series as well, which, because I had some skins since the time before last, it's moved to this line, so technically, can't do that one. So it's Justice League 3000, anime, or Zur-N-R.
And we go with Ghost of Gotham.
Ghost of Gotham? Where was that?
Well, anime Batman, right? Because he's like...
Yeah?
He's doing, like, samurai stuff.
Oh, you were referencing Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah. Right, I was thinking, because there's a storyline called Batman Gotham by Gaslight, but that's set in Victorian times and he's chasing Jack the Ripper.
Ah.
So what's the best Batmobile for a samurai? Oh, maybe the Rocksteady themed. With the white and the bats, that's quite Tsushima.
Yeah, go right ahead with that then.
With the vanity-plated logo of Rocksteady right on the side.
Luckily, you can't see it that well because it's obscured by all the bats and stuff.
Yes, so this is true. Okay, so we have an itinerary for this evening, for this stream. We have a couple things to talk about. We have the riddle. We have actors that prove to be the kiss of death for a superhero film, as well as actors who prove to be the kiss of life to a superhero film. And then we have the most recent Last of Us episodes to talk about. I've included episode 6, Kin, on that, because I don't know if we talked about it last time. I can't remember.
We did. I don't think I'd seen it, actually.
Right. Maybe that must have been why then, because I thought it was it must have been out, but you've just obviously hadn't had a chance to see it yet. What do you think of anime Batman? He actually looks feckin' cool.
Yeah. The popped collar really does it, actually.
His cape looks... I think I've used it, once or twice. His cape's really cool, and his...
Oh, that's actually kind of interesting. The emblem is on part of the cape, technically, rather than part of the chest plate.
Oh yeah, I think that happens with the Michael Keaton one as well. Yeah, it's on the kind of like collar-y bit. What should I do? Should I do some story stuff, or should I do some random stuff so we can start off with chatty? I'll do some random stuff so we can do chatty, because I mean we could pretty much finish basically all the side missions, and then if story is the only thing to go, then that's fine, isn't it? Yeah.
That tortured creature was
okay, hang on, let me just adjust the volume actually, so we can...
There must be a cause for this transformation.
So it's not, so we're not too drowned out by the game. There's a riot here. That ghost spotted me and was like, shit. Ow. Ah, really? Only 2? I hear you typing furiously. I'm really interested to know what's going on. Are you typing out a script for your riddle response?
Yeah.
You're so predictable. I was like, okay, what? He could be googling. He could be googling actors for the Kiss of Death and Kiss of Life bit of superheroes. He could be, trying to remember what happened in the Last of Us episode. No, wait, hang on a second. This is Bradley. He's definitely writing a script for how to respond to my riddle. Do you have the original riddle, actually, just so we can remind our Xanders of the world?
Yes, I believe you said... you said, where did the bat and the cat first meet? On the boat or on the street?
Yeah, that sounds like me.
The answer that I have for you is that this riddle has solutions too.
Solutions too, as in two solutions?
Yeah.
You're talking like the Riddler.
Actually,
or Mad Hatter, actually. That's more of a Mad Hatter thing to say.
Yeah. Nah,
Fucking hell, this guy's driving upstairs and... What the shit? Oh, look at the thingy for a second if you aren't already. I can't bloody see! Ah! Where am I? Oh my god, just absolutely flipped! I like how this guy decided to drive straight past me. This riddle has solutions too.
Yeah, because it's if you want to, it
what
depends.
What the fuck? I did it again! Sorry.
Bruce meets as Batman. He bumps into Selina the first time when she's under the alias. What was it? Elva. Wait.
Oh, you know more than me. I just know that she's in disguise as an old lady.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so she's in disguise, and she tempts him and says like, "Oh, we could be the king and queen of crime." And he's like, "No, I fight for justice.
I'm a good guy.
I'm a goodie. I'm a goodie, not a baddie."
Only 50% of the police force hates me. He used to be 70.
Yeah, so shenanigans.
Oh yeah, and he definitely lets her get away, and Robin's like, "Geez, Batman." I know she has a whip, but serious. Ow.
I've got excerpts here. I'm going to force everyone to listen to my terrible impersonation.
He did a lot of research for this, ladies and gentlemen.
Too late. She's gone. And say, I'll bet you bumped into me on purpose. That's why you took her along with us, so she might try a break. Why, Robin, my boy, whatever gave you such an idea? Nice night, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and allegedly, according to this, it's Batman issue 1.
Yeah, because it was Detective Comics first.
That's insane! I had no idea they met in the very first issue.
Yeah. Because Robin was introduced about a year after Batman or something. In, I think it might have been in issue 1 as well. Joker was like issue 2.
Damn.
But it was like Detective Comics for a while. But it was just Batman. I don't suppose you also found it might not have been that issue. But I think when he initially catches her, he's got her like by the wrist and she's protesting. And I think he might say, it's either I'm right and this is the Batman, or it's another comic from that time in a similar situation. But I'm fairly sure he says quiet or Papa Spank. And I'm not trying to, like, you know, make it, like, I'm not making this up. It's either Batman or it's another superhero comic who's, like, caught a female villain who kind of flip-flops between villainy and heroism kind of thing. So I think it's gotta be Catwoman. I think it's gotta be Catwoman and Batman, actually. But, yeah, I think it's either that same issue or another one slightly later on.
It could be a different one. Yeah, it could be a bit later on then. Cause that's not in any of the...
That's not in anything you found.
No.
Yeah, okay,
That's hilarious, though.
Yeah, please go on. After I slightly scarred you for the 5th time this year.
That is hilarious, though. That is hilarious.
Oh wait, that's
a very. What's the phrase?
Dated.
Like a feature of its time, or an artifact of its time, or something of its time. You know.
Enemy spotted at the potato.
Yeah. Holy moly.
Lost control of a drone. He's overriding.
God, yeah, so...
Target hit a drone. Armor still intact. Mob has been hit.
You're right, you're thinking.
So Catwoman's... And then it turns out that... There's something about...
Rattler's been hit.
Bruce...
He got a drone. No.
Oh, what the shit? I thought I destroyed those. Damn.
And then Bruce plays this. So Selina's going by Elva Bar. And
oh god damn, I feel
sees
weak.
her in a beauty contest. Bruce sees her in
Oh,
a
I'm
beauty
gonna die.
contest.
Oh, I'm gonna die.
Bruce sees her at a beauty contest and instantly recognises her and decides that now is the time to do something really
The
stupid.
flirting.
And by something really stupid, I mean he plans to date her long enough to get her to give up her life of crime and then end the engagement. Get engaged to her and then end the engagement once she gives up her life of crime.
Jesus!
Which is really messed up.
That is the fucking long game, though. That's playing 5 steps ahead, and it's never gonna work.
Armor holding.
Yeah.
You know, there is a universe, though. There's basically, like, the first 20 or 30 years of comics, before the idea of the sliding timescale, where so the characters all stay the same age, was introduced.
To trigger control.
Yeah.
They basically had, it's so difficult to, basically the first 30 years all became, stayed canon, but those versions, Jesus, the PS5 controller is so much more sensitive for this than the PS4. They basically decided to separate it and make everything that happened in those first 30 or 20 years of comics since the characters in creation, like all Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, everyone. That became Earth 2.
Ah. Okay.
And so basically all of those Earth 2 characters like got their happy endings with, well, Batman and Catwoman get married and have a kid.
Sweet.
But normally, Darkseid then comes and kills them.
Oh, what? What? Wait, oh no!
Yeah.
Oh god!
But there's, how there's a Thanos in every universe, that's how they can get away with doing like what ifs and shit with Thanos that dies instantly and whatnot.
Yeah.
In DC, there's just one Darkseid.
Oh really? Oh.
And so he goes to Earth 2 and, kills that universe's version of Batman, Superman, etc. And their kid survives and escapes to Earth 1. To the Prime Earth, because it's not called Earth 1. I don't know what it's called. It's just called Prime Earth, I think.
Yeah.
and to like warn them of Darkseid coming. And it's the same Darkseid. It's like, I've conquered the Justice League 50,000 times. It's like, well, yeah, but you can't deal with us because we're the main continuity and we have plot armor. But I had no, my point was, as you were saying, you know, Batman had a fucking crazy ass plan to. Apparently, I didn't know this. This is something you've just informed me that, yeah, he had a plan to marry her or whatever. Well, in Earth 2, depending on how early that comic was, maybe he just decided to stay married to her, and they had a kid.
Yeah. I feel like mentioning at this point, and I should have brought it up a little sooner, why this plan was largely unethical.
I think it was fairly I think everyone would understand why it was unethical, but please go on.
That's true. But just to add a little extra spice, he was already going out with Linda Page at the time.
Who the fuck is Linda Page?
I don't know, one of his early girlfriends before, like,
Vicky
she
Vale.
got written out of existence.
Fair enough.
She finds out and breaks up with him, quite understandably.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. I can't do that one. There are tanks outside.
And then here's the second half. So then, completely other 1950s Batman issue 62 is when Bruce Wayne and Selina Kyle start going steady.
Whoa.
But Selina doesn't know that Bruce is Batman. leading to this thought bubble from Bruce Wayne as Selina's going off in a taxi, which I find rather amusing. Despite the possible threat to my double identity, I really want to see her again.
He's got priorities, does Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. So yeah, they first met on the boat, but she met Bruce most properly on the street. So I see where the two halves of that riddle come from. So yeah, it depends on whether you're talking about Batman or Catwoman. Wait. Batman or Bruce Wayne?
There we go. You got it. This is where the complication of the solution comes in, because you know, obviously, yeah. So Bruce met Selina while Bruce was in disguise and she was doing stuff, and they had a fight in a crowd, and Bruce got shot by a cop in Batman Year 1. So Bruce met Selina there, but when he then
what the heck is going on here?
Finally took the persona of Batman, they meet on the boat. So I guess what's more important is Bruce Wayne and Selina Kyle, or Batman and Catwoman. What's more significant? The answer is both, but you know, which one do you think is more significant? Do you also know where the idea and the question comes from? Why perhaps I was referenced it as a question and all that stuff.
Mixing his DNA with a vampire bat.
Okay.
That was never going to end
That's
well.
puzzling me.
Search through his files. He may be able to create an antidote.
I'm not only just asking you the question, I'm asking you where did the question come from
Where
first.
did the question come from? Damn. I don't know, I got nothing actually.
It was the recent Tom King run where he saw Batman and Catwoman kind of coming together and getting engaged because Batman realised that he, you know, why shouldn't he try to be happy? And yeah, and then they were going to get married, but there was a longer plan in action, so the original wedding didn't happen. and basically until Batman kind of realized, could get over some trauma and realize that he did, he did deserve to be happy after all, and Selina wasn't gonna, stop. Like, Selina basically left him at the altar because she was convinced that if Batman was happy, he wouldn't survive. He wouldn't be able to be Batman and save people if he was happy.
That's it.
And
I've created
the kind of rest of that series is about them both realizing that they
medicine.
are, he can be Batman and be happy.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the end of it was that they don't need to actually get married because they always have been. But they're currently technically, well, they're not, they're not, they're separated. If you want to go along the lines that they're already married, whatever. But then Tom King, the writer, did do a follow-up series called Batman Catwoman, where it's set across 3 time periods, and it's fucking brilliant. And in that, I think maybe in the middle, in the middle storyline, I think they are married.
Joker's got jokes in this game.
You'd hope so. You would hope so, wouldn't you?
Yeah, in hindsight, that bordered on a tautology there.
What did you think of the riddle, though?
The riddle was really interesting because I had no idea.
How long did it take you? Because when we spoke, was it last Friday? You'd already done a little bit of looking into it because you thought you had an idea.
Yeah, I looked it up, and
right.
I looked up a couple of things, and I was like, oh, it's the boat. And then I started getting conflicting answers, and I was like, well, hold on a second here. So, I had to poke around a little further to get the whole picture, and then that's where it turns out that, both answers are right, kind of, because their relationship is really complicated.
Really
storied.
It is a lot of fun. I'm gonna have to do some story stuff soon because I can't access the third bloody island yet, and loads of the side stuff is locked behind. There's a million tanks on that island. But first, we can do this.
Hey, I wrote a poem. There once was a gal named Oracle.
So,
Things technological, but in a theotoxin
would now be a good time to talk
and sadly, that's not
Last of Us, or would you prefer to do that a little bit later?
Yeah, I think we could do Last of Us.
Is he doing a limerick?
He's doing a poem. He says he's written a poem.
They run towards the danger.
Joker, can you shut up? I wanna talk to Azrael. Azrael, thank you. Look at me!
Look at me!
Look at me, I'm anime Batman!
It's the toughest yet.
I like how Batman just basically goes, yeah, this is the tough one. I threw like 12 enemies at you with medics. Now just have 6 ninjas because I fucking hate ninjas. It's like both the game and Batman fucking hates ninjas so much that he's like, yep, this is the hardest challenge. 6 ninjas. You went from 12 normal enemies to 6 ninjas.
6 ninjas.
I actually think 6 ninjas is possibly easier than, because when there's lots of fuck. I tried to do a cape stun and I fucked it up.
Only a worthy successor can complete the challenge and avoid getting hit.
When there's, a ninja thrown in with, 4 medics and, a variety, a collection of other enemies, I think is a lot more complicated than just 6 ninjas, because with 6 ninjas, I could just be patient.
Yeah.
They'll come at me, I can counter, and then I can do the instant takedown, as such. Didn't do it that time. I didn't mean to press that button, but Azrael just fucking reached out and went, okay, you're not going to attack me? Fine, I'm going to just smack you. One hit. Oh fuck! Ah, you mother flipper. Anyway, Bradley, how would you like to start talking about Last of Us?
Okay, I would like to start talking about Last of Us. Yeah.
You can do better than
Episode 6,
We could-
we never got to... Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say we could do questions because that's a lot easier for me.
Questions
yeah,
as in, like you ask me something and then I
or
answer it?
any
I
like
ask you
if
something.
basically just I'll let you lead and you say whatever you want, and then if you just want to ask me a question, then I can do that.
Oh, okay, cool.
If that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's okay with me. So,
And then I could always ask you a question as like a follow up to whatever you say, or you know.
yeah.
Oh my god, I'm sucking at ninjas.
I am not worthy.
I'm fucking Barry Allen. Can you delete this timeline for me? Jesus. Are you motherfucker?
I have no one to blame.
yeah, so...
I have no one to blame but myself.
You can do better than
So, so episode 6. In!
Yes.
Which... So, basically, yeah,
Oh, you motherfucker.
so we get a refresher on what happened in the last episode, which was, you know...
Oh
Traumatic
yeah,
for
Henry and
people.
Sam's. Yeah. God, how did that hit you actually compared to the game? Because you didn't see it coming in the game, did you?
No, I didn't. It happened, and then
So-
and then you could kind of tell that I was
Because you went
sitting there
absolutely
speechless.
silent. It's one of the I think it was the only time in the entire game where you went absolutely silent, except the end.
I am not
Yeah, like I like that happened. Black screen. 3 months later, they
And you're
start
like,
working on
3
it,
months
and I'm like,
later?
oh my god! Because it just felt like it came out of nowhere. I mean, it does make sense and everything, and then like given how oh, what's the word? Given how devoted
forgive me.
Henry was to his brother,
Yeah.
and keeping him safe, it does make sense that having just shot him, he'd be in such a bad place emotionally that he would
Next time,
do that. But
victorious.
Hmm.
You
God,
can
it
do
just-
better
it
than
just-
this.
goes so quickly, and then you're left thinking about it afterwards. But yeah, since I knew it was coming this time, it softened the blow a bit.
I surprisingly, you know, yeah, that's the thing, because even though I knew it was coming, it was still the way they did it and differed it,
Oh yeah, yeah.
you know, really struck me. I mean, it's you know, playing it in the remake again made it work for me again, you know, because obviously you get a bit desensitized. Oh my god, playing it as many times as I have, so just on the remastered I was like, oh yep, this is happening, this is coming, this is fun. But the remake was like,
Lose concentration.
oh. Well, because you feel like you've lost new people because they look like real people and they look different as well
Yeah.
when it came to the remake. Can I stun a ninja?
Yeah,
I can stun a ninja! I can also get hit by a ninja while I'm doing a thing.
I forget if
Fail again.
the thing that stood out for me with with that scene, and honestly the thing that I can still kind of remember how it sounds is and bad respect to Bella Ramsey for this one. The that kind of
Cry?
brief, yeah, cry.
That noise, that kind of guttural...
wail, it's so brief and yet it's so
Yeah.
powerful, and it just sounds so right. It, you know, I mean, maybe that's not a great way of saying it, but it just sounds so. It perfectly encapsulates the feeling of what just
You are to
happened.
be commended,
Yeah.
Israel. You have passed the test. I will
Ah,
contact
good,
you when
you've
I have
beaten
made
the
my
ninjas.
decision.
Yeah, it only took me 15 fucking tries. I wasn't counting. God. I don't know. Yeah, those ninjas fuck me off so much. I don't know why it took me that many tries.
Falls deeper into the abyss. Make your
But
decision fast.
yeah,
or he will be lost
that
forever.
yeah, God. So they made us fucking watch that again, and I was like, oh Christ.
We have a positive
But
ID on Azrael.
what
His real name is
what did you think about the? I guess it's kind of like the traveling scenes because there's two in this episode.
yeah.
At the start and towards the end of this episode, there a good
That
bit
must
of
have
kind
been
of
when he
just,
was recruited by the Order of Saint Dumas.
you know, just taking their time traveling and oh, actually no, they don't. They open with the barn.
They open with the barn?
Not the barn, the house, the little cottage with the two people. What did you think about the two people? Because they're back and forth. Yeah. What do you think?
It was I think it was some much needed comic relief. For,
yeah, following that.
Yeah, just so that let's to dry everyone's tears a bit before the episode starts proper. Yeah, the banter was funny as hell. Ellie being like, what was it? What was it the woman said about Ellie? I swear she called her a gremlin or something.
Didn't she call her like psychopathic gremlin or I don't know?
Yeah.
Who knows?
I was like, out of context, and she just comes in and says, "Hey, we're coming through, fuckers."
Wow. I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah. Elliott's got a bit of a mouth on it. But yeah. And the way they incorporated Joel's interrogation methods.
Yeah.
It better be the same as what you're.
When I heard that, I was like, Jesus, Joel, you can't do that to these people.
Well, I mean, at least this time he didn't do it while sticking a knife in the kneecap.
Yeah, I mean, do you think we're gonna get that in the next episode?
Don't know we're gonna get that in the next episode, to be honest. We might get an allusion to it or something.
We might
but
get,
I don't
yeah,
think
he
we'll see
might,
it on
like,
screen.
we might not see it. He might, or he might just be, like, beating on him rather than the good old knife popping the kneecap off threat.
Yeah, so there's that. Yeah, I thought it was rather amusing that, he's doing the whole tough guy act
It's a
and
surgical
they just
microprocessor interfacing with the temporal lobe, the region of the brain used for storing and accessing memories.
He's like, don't go through the valley of death. That's where you die.
The River of Death, wasn't it?
River of Death, yeah.
The Valley of Death, something else.
So he's
yeah, because they were warning them about the bodies, the infected and some not infected, left behind as a warning on the other side. Of course, we later learned that is Tommy's group doing that, which is a different depiction of Jackson to the game, I've got to say. Like, Jesus, Jackson was not doing that shit. They weren't like, attacking,
attacking people, yeah.
Well, they weren't riding out to corner people and hold them, take them at gunpoint. I mean, you'll see it in part 2, but they actually have like a sign that welcomes people, but it's, says be prepared to, leave your guns at the gate, until we can talk, until we can talk to you. Like, no fucking, it just seems so much more aggressive and so much more reclusive that they're basically leaving these bodies around to warn people away when, desperate people. I don't know, I'm not sure I liked how much less welcoming Jackson appeared to be in the TV show. It seemed like an odd change. But what did you think after I've said that?
It's funny that you do say that, because of course I had no prior knowledge of what Jackson's like to go off of.
Well, I guess all you've seen of them is the dam. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's not actually overtly stated, but it's kind of more implied by the first game, and then again by the second game. It's it's more in the signs and stuff. And...
Yeah.
But I mean, I was kind of going off, what you thought of the.
That's it.
Yeah, the scene that they are in the dam, because obviously they do hold Joel and Ellie at gunpoint when they first see them, but then it's like, oh shit, we know you.
The Dark Knight stands in
I don't know. But that's because Joel and Ellie are trying to get into a place that they're defending and working on. It's a different situation, but whatever. What did you think of Joel's panic attacks?
Joel's panic attacks, they make sense given this somewhat different interpretation of Joel.
Yes, he's about 10 years older, actually. And I think we did mention that he's a lot softer.
Yeah.
Lane is dead. I am Azrael.
And he's
the order has lied to you.
I think it plays nicely to the later scene of
justice.
We're on the same side, Michael.
No.
When he's asking Tommy to go instead. And how he feels he can't protect Ellie.
Yeah.
Like, you do, like, he does have to have... He does have to have some form of weakness that he recognises in order for him to actually feel that way, And if he's freezing and he's having these panic attacks, then yeah, he's going to notice that and he's going to think, I'm not up to the task. My God, the sword.
Yeah, you're going to have a choice now, Bradley. Should I kill Batman and play the rest of the game as Azrael? Or should I break the sword and ally with Batman?
Break the sword and ally with Batman! Break the sword and ally with Batman!
Are you sure? You could be great,
Gotham will be yours.
I could kill Batman. I mean, what has he ever done anyway? He let Oracle die, for fuck's sake.
No, break the sword. Don't let the order control you.
I thought myself the instrument of God.
Gauntlet spikes must be pretty hard to break a sword that thick. Like, why isn't Batman doing that with the ninja swords?
Oh, bloody hell. God, that did just snap it.
I do no one's bidding but God.
I'm now wondering if you can use the weapon disarm and deconstruct on ninja swords. This is something I must know.
Oh, he's gonna fight his own war against the Order now. Well. Oh, you get AR challenges for that. That's cool.
Yeah, you can play as Azrael in the thing, in the little side game content.
Yes. So, what is next? Yeah, so they get in and we see yeah, the Jackson and everything. And, oh God, when Joel sees Tommy.
Oh God, yeah.
They hug it out. Oh, so good for the soul. That very heartwarming.
That just the way he shouts, Tommy!
Tommy!
That really got me. That absolutely just destroyed me. It was like, yeah, that is a believable brothers relationship, but difficult. I mean, you can see from the fact that they fucking have a fight in the bar pretty much straight after.
Like, just a few hours after this. Yeah. They're having a screaming match at each other. Well, maybe not a screaming match, but, you know, they're having a row.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and, you know, it is very, very believable for Joel to act that way, because we know that he's a very family-oriented person. He cares very much for his family.
I was like, what are you doing here? I came to save you, and then they both just chuckle.
Yeah, oh my god, yeah, I forgot. He was doing that in episode 1, wasn't he?
Yeah, well, because he lost contact with him, and that was it. Oh god, man, though, when Tommy fucking said, just because your world, you know, your life ended doesn't mean all of it, you know, mine had to. It's like, oh Christ, okay, Tommy. Woo! I know he took it back, but still, fucking hell, mate. Oh, and another one bites the dust. Bump, bump, bump.
Just lost one more lieutenant.
Yeah, so very nice with there. Then there was kind of like that.
When did they go on the tour?
The tour is in, like, right immediately.
When Maria takes them on the tour and Tommy realizes he's a communist.
Oh, that.
And they meet a little horse. Do you remember what that horse is called?
Callus?
No.
Not that horse.
No. The horse that they ride on is called Callus, although it's never actually named yet, which is weird. It's weird that we've had, like...
It'll happen.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a bit late, though. I mean, Callus doesn't last that much longer, spoilers.
Yeah.
So...
throwaway line here or there.
Yeah. But it's just like, Callus. Its name is Callus. Come on. But no, they called the little horse Shimmer.
Oh, Shimmer. Yes, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, that horse, little baby Shimmer.
Little baby Shimmer. And who was it who named that horse, or brought up the name?
I'm going to investigate.
I think Maria just says, like, I think Ellie goes, "Oh, you have horses," and Maria says, "This is Shimmer."
So I was thinking if it was Ellie who named it, then maybe she named it after Starlight Shimmer. But if it's not Ellie, then it's not Ellie.
No, I think it's someone at Jackson.
Alfred, I'm heading to Wayne Tower parking garage.
Yes.
Let's see what Lucius has come up with to locate Ivy's plan.
Speaking of Jackson, they were in that canteen, eating good, and Ellie was getting hinatted by some girl.
Hinatted. I like how that's an adjective. Oh shit, the bed. This thing got guns.
This thing got guns. Yeah. And there was the bit with the theatre where they were watching a movie.
And Ellie was like, "This is not my scene. I'm gonna go and eavesdrop."
Yeah. Yeah. Joel requesting Tommy to go in his place. It was very different, but very fitting for, you know, as we've previously mentioned, the different.
Well, I mean, he asks Tommy to do it in the game as well.
Oh yeah, he does, but like the kind of vibe he's giving off.
Yes, yeah, it's a very Well, it's not really spoken why he's just basically trying to pawn off Ellie on. Jesus Christ! Look how many upgrade points I have.
27.
Well, shit. I guess it's time to do some real upgrades. Speed. We should probably get some of these. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the super
headshot.
Super glide.
Oh fuck! I'm already down to 6.
Okay.
Well, that was fun while it lasted. No, we don't want gadget skills. We want gadget tech. Shit. Well, I mean, I can get these back. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a because in the game he's trying to give Ellie to Tommy because I felt like he was doing that because he was afraid of opening up to Ellie and opening his heart.
Yeah. Open your heart. See what's inside.
And after the sequence in the barn and everything, that's when he more or less takes the plunge and faces his fear. Whereas in the show he does care, he knows he cares, and he's more concerned about if he's capable of protecting a person that he cares about. And
yeah, that wasn't.
Open the parking lot entrance.
I mean, that wasn't my only read of it. Because I mean, in the game, Joel is basically terrified of seeing another person he cares about, especially a person that he's starting to see as a daughter, die. And he doesn't want to be responsible for that. He doesn't want to lose her. And he's quite aggressive in trying to pawn her off because he's just so desperate to not feel that trauma again. While in the show, it's played as a lot more desperation and fear of being unable to protect Ellie, while also... But there's like a kind of like a next step of that. If he's unable to protect Ellie, she's gonna die, and it's gonna be his fault again. That's kind of the bit that is still in the game, but it's not stated.
Yeah.
But I think it's still both. Does that? Do you agree?
Oh, yeah. I can see where you're coming from with that. I also really like Pedro Pascal's acting in that scene was that was pretty good. That was pretty good. I liked it. The when the waterworks were coming on, and I was really feeling for him there.
What did you think of Ellie's scene with Maria? Because that was another strong one as well, I thought.
The haircutting scene?
Yeah, because in the game, Ellie just tells in the game, Ellie tells Joel that Maria told her about Sarah during their argument.
Yeah.
But in this, we actually get to see that conversation.
Yeah, you're right.
So, but yeah, and we got another well, basically Ellie got given her winter outfit. We got the other, we got the next bit of like, hey, time to wear some classic clothes.
Consider it done, Mr. Wayne. Good luck with the gardening.
And considering what a woman would need to do as well, which was cool because that's barely fucking acknowledged in everything else.
Yeah, that was.
I'm ready for the outfit.
That was a nice little extra bit of world building to use that phrase. Yes, I can't remember if in the game Maria had quite such a low opinion of Joel.
Maria seemed a lot more aggressive in this as well, which I always thought was a shame because, you know, she seems... Yeah, I don't know if Tommy actually is... I think, but maybe that's part of their not very close relationship in the games, because, like, it's, you know, they haven't spoken in years in the game, Tommy and Joel, so... You know, it seems like Maria's actually quite surprised to be seeing him, maybe even to, you know, it seems like maybe Tommy just went, oh yeah, I have a brother, that's it. You know, oh, and my brother lost his daughter, and I was there, like, on the day of the outbreak. That kind of thing.
Yeah. Because Joel... Because she says... She basically warns Ellie about Joel, like, he's a dangerous guy, he's a dangerous guy, like...
No, it does seem very anti-Joel. I think she's scared of, you know, what Joel will tell Tommy or say about Tommy, or whether he'll make Tommy kind of regress into a more violent person again, I guess. And new development, totally departing from the game, Maria's pregnant.
Oh yes. Yes, and Joel drops that cold line.
Congrats.
Ice frigid cold line. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yes, we'll see. Which, I mean, yeah, that's the.
But that's still part of that same argument, so you know that's very. He takes that back as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. And and you know that's his weak spot. That's what he doesn't like to talk or think about. Is his
well, I mean, you get the impression that Tommy was nothing but a good kind of role model and, you know, parent. You know, because he definitely helped Joel out after Joel's wife either died or left him.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
there's
you
a
could
bat
see
here.
a nice closeness between him and his niece in the first episode.
Yeah,
having breakfast and everything.
And in the house at the start of the game, you can go around. There's loads of pictures of Sarah and Tommy hanging out on their own and stuff. So it's obviously those two obviously have a really close relationship. You know, it would probably be fair to say that when Joel needed time to, you know, either work late or do whatever, because he had Sarah when he was so young, like 20 or something.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, it's kind of never stated outright, but it's implied that he had like, that's why he never went to uni or college. But it's implied that his girlfriend, the mother of Sarah, did.
Oh, actually, yeah, that makes sense.
Because he says during his conversation with Ellie about the college, when she says, "Have you ever been here?" he says, "Not as a student." So I kind of thought that, read that as, oh, so, you know, he went there maybe because his girlfriend at the time was pregnant with Sarah, and that's like gives you a picture of how young they might have been. Or something, or you know, he brought Sarah as a baby to visit, you know, her mum. I always thought that Joel had been widowed and Sarah's mum had died, but apparently Neil Druckmann, who's the writer, and you know who Neil Druckmann is, right?
Yeah. I mean, it pops up his name every episode.
This is true, yes. Apparently, at one point, he said that she left him.
Oh, wow, okay.
But, I don't know, that never really read. I mean, I guess that Joel would be more likely to have kept his ring on if she died, but...
Oh, yeah, that's true.
But at the same time, you know, maybe they hadn't gotten married, so there wasn't a ring, or, I don't know, it's just, I think if she died and he'd raised Sarah alone, it would have been more, I mean, it's not really, there's no real difference, it's just, I kind of read it that way, would have made more logical sense, because yeah, especially with, at that time, how American law was with, you know, paternity and stuff. There was, like, it's very unlikely that Sarah, unless this woman left in the middle of the fucking night, that Sarah wouldn't have been forced to live with her rather than Joel. You know? So, there's that, and then there's, I don't know, it just, I never, but that's a very and the fact that it's like, you know, did he ever, you know, if she was still alive, did he ever tell her that Sarah died? Like, that would be a fucking awful conversation. You know, oh hey, how are you doing in the post-apocalypse? By the way, our daughter died on the first night, and I am fucking traumatized for years about it.
Yeah.
That poor guy! You'll see this in a second. I was trying to land on the car to destroy the Riddler car to interrogate the guy, and instead Batman was like, I'm just gonna fuck up that one poor guy standing right next to it.
This guy in particular.
I'm just gonna punch the shit out of him.
So yeah, where...
we were talking, you were asking about, Maria's kind of cold, you know, thoughts on Joel, and just asking me what I thought about it, and
he's dangerous and everything.
Yeah. And then Ellie kind of is defending Joel and is like fighting back, like, you do know Tommy did that shit as well, and Maria's like, he did that shit because Joel did that shit.
Yeah.
I mean, she's not wrong, but Tommy was an adult, perfectly capable of making his own decisions. I feel like Maria's kind of kidding herself here, in a way, trying to, you know, but I mean, they've both made mistakes, and, you know, I fucking love Joel, so,
And partly, actually, when you mention it like that, I mean, the Tommy she knows
is a very different Tommy.
It's a very different Tommy, you know, like, she might not be, and, you know, I can kind of see it as well, like, we don't see a particular, like, Tommy isn't, like, violent or anything, like, perhaps it's just the case that she really can't conceive of this guy, acting the way that he's spoken about Joel with, and, you know, there could be a little bit of, Tommy saying it that way, describing it that way himself, you know, trying to distance himself from that past by not really taking
ownership of it, But I think, you know, he's married to this woman, I think, and, you know, if
he would be honest, wouldn't he?
Yeah, if Joel was ever to show up, it's not like, you know, if she doesn't like Joel, and she knows that Tommy did this stuff back in the day, I don't think Tommy would have lied to her.
Yeah.
Or would have dampened down. I think he would have been brutally honest. Like, I did some really bad stuff, and I'm not proud of it, but, you know, this is everything that, you know, I hold shame for. Still want to get married?
Yes, yeah, so, the, post that scene, there was, post Tommy and Joel having their, Joel saying, Tommy, please. Please instead.
It's just, I hope that in season 2 that, you know, we get more of, you know, I kind of hope that we'll get some more, you know, family dynamic between Joel and Maria, and, you know, that whole thing, because, you know, just because it would be nice, wouldn't it, if basically, whatever wedges there are between Joel and Tommy, still, both show and game, if it would be nice if they would be alleviated somewhat. By season 2, and you know, if not at the end of this season, depending on how, you know, it depends where they end it, I guess.
Yeah, true.
Whether they plan to end it on that very last line, or whether they actually plan to get into Jackson.
So, Then we got the argument, the
yes,
everyone's left me except for you scene, which was more or less lifted wholesale from the game.
Yep.
Which is good because that is a very powerful moment from the game.
What did you think of... I think Bella did a fucking amazing job.
Yeah.
I respect... I mean... It was the scene that they were both really worried about. They said, like...
I don't blame them.
It is the most iconic scene probably in The Last of Us. For just like a strong acted scene. And they just did it differently because that's how they're gonna do it, but... Unfortunately, in that one scene, I was not able to really stop hearing the originals because I know that conversation so well, and I can hear. I don't just know the lines. I can hear the voices, and so every time that there was a slight change to a line, or they did the shove differently and all that stuff, it's like. I kind of wish they'd done something a bit more different, almost, just to, but it's a good scene.
My only qualm is that you're on some mighty thin ice there. Didn't make the cut for it.
Yeah,
that's my favourite line. Well, not my favourite line, but it's one of my favourite lines of that scene. Just like the.
I think he sounds like he's actually more begging in
Ivy,
the show.
Track the root systems beneath Gotham.
Yeah.
Do you think?
Follow the roots. They'll take you where you need to go.
Yes.
Like he's begging her not to bring up Sarah.
I hear her.
Yeah, because like we've said a million times at this point, it's a softer Joel. It's a Joel that is more open to caring more easily, and it's less
which is really funny when you think about the first episode where you see him beat a man to death, and that's one of the first things we see him do. At that point it seemed like he was going to be a lot more aggressive, Joel. He was, we were going to just see these violent outbursts, where he just became an absolute monster.
Ivy,
they're attacking my
and was just really close and calm with Ellie. But no, basically after episode 1, it's no, okay, he's
I'll protect it.
Well, that's bullshit. I've forgotten my point. As you said, he's very much softer, and that violent outburst
keep them away.
Did not become the norm.
Yes. He's instead so. Like you say, he's almost begging Ellie to not bring up Sarah.
Yeah.
Possibly because I just thought maybe if that's the case, maybe it's because he feels that being reminded of Sarah in that way is going to motivate him more.
Let's hope we don't need to find out.
In the same way that being reminded of Sarah against the
Alfred, tell me you found the cloud
against that soldier caused him to go into
monster mode.
Yeah, so maybe he's thinking, don't bring Sarah up. I'll insist on taking you there. And
well, he leaves the room, doesn't he? And he then actually.
The movie studios when you're ready.
He does change his mind. He does come and say, "Yeah, I think you should go with Tommy, but I think you deserve the choice."
That was an interesting change, but I mean, no, he sees Sarah, doesn't he? He sees a Christmas with Sarah, and it's and I kind of... How did you read that scene, actually? I'm not going to say anything. How did you read that flashback to Sarah? You're just oh shit, what?
Yeah, I can't remember a flashback. I
thought he was looking across the street and there was someone who looked like Sarah.
No, after the argument, because he sees someone who looks like Sarah, has a panic attack, and then, and then it goes into the scene where he has the chat with Tommy, and then the argument with Ellie. But after the argument with Ellie, when he goes to bed, there's like a flashback, and you just see him and Sarah putting decorations on a Christmas tree.
Oh my god, I don't know how I forgot that.
It has been a week or something.
Yeah.
But yes, please, how did you read that flashback? This is a really cool suit. This is a very good choice. I've not used this enough.
I'll be honest, I haven't thought too hard about it, but given the...
Okay, do you want me to give you some options then? Because I think there are two interpretations. So there's him. He sees Sarah as a reminder of what he lost, and it's kind of both. It's difficult to give the other one because he sees Sarah, he sees what he lost, he sees a happy memory with her, and whether that
focused on the cure.
Sir, it was bad enough keeping Miss Gordon's
kind of that connection.
We have to make sacrifices.
Is very simple. He's kind of almost like he doesn't want to replace Sarah with Ellie. Is a big thing, I think, that he's thinking about constantly. But then I think the other read that you could possibly get is that, what would Sarah ask him to do? What would Sarah want him to do?
Yeah.
Because I kind of read it as he thinks of Sarah, and Sarah's almost like, what the fuck are you doing? Go and take my sister to the Fireflies.
What will my wife say?
Yeah.
How many more tests can you possibly...
Sir, the long-range scanners have not been
It does make sense though that it's at Christmas because they were putting up basically Christmas for Jacksonville, right?
Yeah.
And they've got a tree up, or they were putting a tree up, or they were
something that I kind of completely. I was like, oh shit, there's someone who has Sarah's haircut. Panic attack incoming. Joel, no, please.
I've identified a special drone that appears to be acting as a relay hub.
Yeah, so it does make sense he starts thinking about that.
If I can get my hands on that drone, there's a chance we can reverse engineer the security
when it's like that,
and give me a window to
there's
take out
obviously
those radar
something
towers.
significant going on, but there's no real concrete answer that it tells you.
It's the only
It
way.
says,
I'll
okay,
keep you updated.
you work it out for yourself.
I feel,
Barbara.
yeah.
Trust me, Robin, she's fine. I need you to focus on the cure.
Have you ever had a panic attack, Bradley? This is a personal question.
I don't believe I've ever had a panic attack.
It's under control.
Because my family has a history of them.
Oh, that's fun.
So, and I have definitely had one, not very long ago. My dad used to have them loads when he was, working at his old place. Like, really bad ones. So, kind of to know what that feels like, and to know someone, basically as well as, probably, someone who knows a parent who's had them, that was fucking horrible scenes to what, to a fictional character that I love as much as Joel, and this version of him who is so much softer and warmer, that you as an audience are supposed to connect to so much quicker.
I thought for sure you were going to tell him.
Because, in the game you're in Joel's shoes, so you feel connected with Joel because you're in his shoes, and the point of the game is to build your relationship with Ellie, so by the end you want to save her, and you don't even think there's an alternative option, you are going to save her. And then there's that switch obviously in Winter where you play as Ellie, and now you're protecting the big strong guy who was the protector who you were playing as, and now Ellie's that protector role, and you're protecting this character that you've grown to love almost, you haven't even noticed it because you were in his shoes. And you felt his warmth, his warmth growing as you played as him. So now he's actually at risk, and this character that you've been growing to love in his shoes is the one you're playing as and trying to protect him. It's such a fucking powerful reversal, and it is really terrifying. That is why Winter is so good and so horrible at the same time. But so in the show, to see this version of the character I love having fucking panic attacks, and seeing that, when I saw that haircut, I was like, oh no, Joel, please. So what did you? What do you think Sarah Vision was to tell him to go and take? It was kind of like, him thinking what she'd say, or him just thinking about her and changing his mind.
God, it could be any of them. It could.
Yeah.
It could be both at the same time.
It could just be him thinking of Sarah. I mean, that's the plain text version, isn't it? He thought of Sarah. He felt bad. He thought he'd give Ellie an option, and now he's paying for her with a with the vampire method.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, we are entering the final island.
Oh yeah. But ultimately, he does give Ellie that choice, and she throws her bag at him immediately. And then
it was a good throw as well.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I've lost Bradley. Oh no, he's there. He's back. He was thinking I lost him.
I was just thinking about the.
It was like you didn't just I didn't hear breathing. It was just perfect radio silence. I was like, oh shit, something's dropped.
What was it? Yeah, because in the game, in the game, instead of it's kind of interesting actually. Instead of giving Ellie the choice per se,
I need to destroy the radar before the drone comes back online.
He says the whole okay now give her back, give him back the horse, Ellie, and come on.
Yeah.
He just continues to.
He basically just changes his mind while they ride back, and then gives her another order, doesn't he?
Yeah, because he's her parent figure, he's her authority figure.
Yeah.
So he tells his child what she should be doing.
Yeah.
which is an interesting way of showcasing him accepting that role. And then this version of Joel explicitly gives Ellie the choice. Yeah, I like both. I like both.
Both is good.
Both is good, yeah. Both is good. But yeah, then we get some nice. We get a travelling scene, which means we get sort of nice, bonding moments between Ellie and Joel. Like the okay, I'm gonna teach you how to shoot a rifle, and then
that was from some concept art that never actually made it into the game.
Really? Oh wow!
Oh, so was them sitting around the campfire. Although they're
yes, I remember you saying that.
So in the campfire they're laughing. So little bit different.
Yeah, a little bit different, but other than that, yeah. So yeah, contractor and all of that, and then the university stuff where they're you know, he says she does the oh well, you should sing something, Joel.
Ah, shit.
And he's like, no, I'm not gonna sing. And even though it wouldn't make any sense for him to sing, I would love to hear Pedro Pascal sing his Joel.
Yes.
But I think that perhaps won't happen. Regardless.
Well, it depends if he can sing. That's the thing. Is if he can sing. Da-da-da. No regrets about that whole statement. Me saying all that stupid shit. No regrets.
No regrets. Yeah, we get a kind of terse version of the going inside and finding all the notes thing, which understandably so for the show.
Yeah, rather than finding the recorder that Joel is able to skip through to just the right bit of information.
Yeah.
He keeps it so you can hear all of it, so you could always just be like, oh, we listen to all of it later, but, you know, it's a little bit funny that he skips through to the exact right bit where it says, if you're looking for the rest of the Fireflies, you know, go to Salt Lake City, so... But at the same time, they've left that map up, so if Fedra or any hunters, it's like, oh, all the Fireflies are going across this route, come and get us. Wee bit odd. But, you know, whatever. Fireflies aren't always the smartest insect in the universe of The Last of Us.
What was it? Yeah, it makes sense that they did it like that because in the game you kind of walk through a lot of it yourself.
Really? Nothing? No fear takedown? Well, that's shit.
Oh, I thought you were responding to me for a second there.
No, sorry, I was trying to do a cool thing, and the game was like, fuck you doing your cool thing. Ow! Get punched by a big guy.
Yeah, it just... I feel like the whole... that whole segment is to... You know, equal parts make you feel, God, I'm you know, they really have all gone from here, and also give you that.
Well, it's to bring them back together, isn't it? After that argument, really, it's to.
Yeah.
You know, this isn't Joel and Ellie, you know, just abiding each other anymore. This is Joel and Ellie, father and daughter.
And you get the and. You know, it takes a while. You know, the whole university is full of lots of nothing for the express purpose of, you know, playing with your feelings. You know, getting you all tense and nervous about the
fucking university thing. This is what you were saying, right? Is that.
I can use the hacking device.
No, wait, hang on. You were talking about how they were, you know, getting closer, right?
I was saying how in the how short the we go into the university. Here's where they went, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I was saying how the game version probably wouldn't translate quite as well because you're not the one doing the looking around.
Yes, but at the same time, this is what I wanted to add on to you. I just had to backtrack to make sure we were both thinking the same. I was actually really tense in the show because for the first time since that first time, I didn't know what was coming around the corner. Also, there was no infected to deal with. It's like, in the game, it's like, okay, you go through a bit, here's some infected, deal with them, you move on. You find some Firefly signs, you move on. And then you find out that the Fireflies are gone.
I'm heading there now.
And then, basically, instantly, they take a shot. You know, someone takes a shot at you. And it's like straight into that fight scene.
Yeah.
In the show, though, they just built up the tension because, you know, for the people who'd played the game, it was like, I know what's coming next. I don't want to see this. So I was actually really tense when I was watching that scene. But, you know, basically from the moment they got to the university, I can't talk tonight. Especially after that whole montage with them being, you know, really cool and happy. I was like, oh, this is all gonna get ruined in a second. Ow, for fuck. That laugh sounded like the start of da 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 da. Do you know what I mean?
And your legend dies.
Kind of, actually.
Yeah, that was a weird laugh. But yeah, so I was really uncomfortable and tense in that scene. How did you deal with that? The knowing what was coming. You know. Bit.
Knowing what was coming.
Or did you not? You were totally nonplussed. You were like, yeah, Joel might get impaled. It's fine.
I mean, I knew it was coming, and I often find that the worst thing, the worst feeling for me is when I don't know what's coming, and even if what's coming is gonna be pretty nasty, as nasty as that. Just knowing it is like, okay, I know what's gonna happen. I'm in control of the situation. Okay, he's gonna get that happen to him. If I didn't know, then I would be absolutely very tense. Yeah, the way it worked in this makes so much sense for the way Joel is portrayed in this, and and it kind of had to be something bigger than the stabs and jabs you get in normal gameplay.
Yes, because he can, walk them off and bandage it.
Walk it off, bandage it, and you're fine. So it couldn't have just been a stab, because then people would be left scratching their damn heads. Why didn't you just wrap a bandage around that? He should have been fine, but, you know...
Well, I mean, he got fucking impaled by a steel... in the game.
Yeah, but this is
apparently that's actually more survivable than
you're taking the mick.
Because the thing he was stabbed with in the show was sharp, and because the rebar was blunt, apparently your organs move. Like that's just one of the fucking weird miracles of the human body. No matter how fast it happens, your organs will just react to the trauma
that does make sense, 'cause they're
and
squishy.
move so they're not punctured, while a sharp thing will puncture them.
You just go through it. Oh my god, that is insane.
Yeah, that's something I found out today.
What?
When people were talking about that scene.
God, and I was sitting here thinking, God, Game Joel, he gets better from that? Not a chance in hell. Wait, so you're telling me that he probably wouldn't have, or at least there's less chance for him to have suffered organ damage, and thus it's a matter of just sealing the wound?
Yeah.
That is crazy. I can't believe it. Wow.
Well, I mean, because if he had punctured his, any organ, he would have been dead, no question.
Oh, yeah, super duper dead. Without surgery, which isn't gonna happen here.
No, exactly. Should I get the weapon disarm? I have the points for it. Or should I save up for the, disarm the thingies, the other things? I mean, I'll still need 2 points to get this. Which means I won't be able to get it soon. Yeah, I'll wait actually, because it's going to take longer.
Getting shorter by the minute.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to mute myself for a second. Quickly, think of a question. I'm thinking of a question. What did you think about the reuse of the song from the end of the very first episode?
Oh, wow. I managed to not notice that.
Because that was how the episode ended, was them using the same song that meant trouble from when it came on the radio at the end of the first episode, and it was sung by Craig Mazin, the adapter writer of the most of the show, his daughter.
Ah, okay.
She did the cover of the Who is it that sings that song originally? Do something. It's someone like, you know, all old people seem to know really well, and us young'uns are like, who?
There's, funnily enough, in Left Behind, there was a song I recognised. I was like, oh my god, it's Take On Me, yeah! I started singing along because I maybe didn't need to sound quite so embarrassed saying that, but you know, the scene was it was a nice levity scene, so like I didn't it felt appropriate to sing along, you know. Also, Take On Me is a banger.
But yeah, well, if I had remembered that the song at the end of the first episode was this, in fact, the same song, then yeah, I would have made the connection that they're saying trouble's incoming, which it absolutely is. And to segue neatly into episode 7, Left Behind, I'd like to say I really like how they changed it and contextualized the flashback part of Left Behind into the story in a way that, you know, makes it important to the plot, because you have basically Ellie has that flashback and then, you know, redoubles her resolve to save Joel, where you know she
save Riley.
Yeah, because she couldn't save Riley, and it's
also that, you know, she remembers that speech that Riley gives. It's like, you know, no matter, you know, if it's 2 hours or 2 days, we don't stop fighting. And I think, you know, Ellie storms out after Joel tells her to go, to leave him.
Yeah.
And, you know, she puts her hand on the door, and that's when she thinks, you know, that's when she remembers all of this. That's, you know, that's, and as a kind of, I guess a lesson to herself, really. You know.
Yeah.
And
I'd like to mention the soundtrack during the part where she comes back and actually starts looking for supplies to stitch Joel up with. That was surprisingly powerful.
What was the song?
It was.
We should
it was
possibly.
A guitar thing.
Oh right, yeah. Well, isn't that? They actually dropped the fucking credit song, which is my favourite credit, like, music needle drop of any of the Last of Us games, is the Left Behind one. And they dropped it way early, and I was like, what the fuck are you doing now? Don't use it now! Don't use it this early. And then they used it for the end as well, and I was like, oh, thank fuck. They still did the credits drop, good. But one last thing about the end of the last episode is the song, the lyrics of the song that's being covered is I'm taking a ride with my best friend. And, you know, and I think it's about kind of like relying on each other and stuff, and if that's not Joel and Ellie to a fucking T. But no, yeah, you liked Take On Me, you liked, I think the episode opens, well, the flashback starts with a song by Pearl Jam. Both of these will be making returns. I can't wait for you to play part 2, man. I'm so looking forward to it. Like, you're gonna fucking...
So, Pearl Jam in the next one, then?
I didn't say that. Maybe I'm talking about part 3.
Maybe you're talking about part 3.
What the fuck is that guy doing?
Yeah. Once we got to the mall, and even a little bit before that, it was very much as seen in the game.
Yes.
But, you know, differently acted. Slightly different shots here and there. The and of course, it was a little faster. Personally, I would have liked to a little more time in the mall, but you know that's probably because that's the most pleasant moment for for any character. Is
this is true.
Yeah, the idea to have the what's it called, the horror store and the dance segment happen
at the same time. Yeah,
that was a pretty smart move.
Oh yeah, I think why I will have to guide you, perhaps, or I'll basically just say, nope, you can't, you're not done with this section yet, mate. You have to keep looking, because Part 2 has a open world section like Uncharted, the more recent Uncharted's.
I see.
And so I will basically just be a very annoying backseat driver and just in the regard of you ain't fucking leaving yet, mate. You haven't seen everything. But that's all I'll say about that.
Well,
but sorry, I've totally interluded our talk about the show to just drop those comments about the game, which I can't wait to see you play. And yes, my revenge will be complete. Come back! Fine.
Yeah, seeing what the Fedra, school was like, that was a nice touch.
Yes. Did you think what did you think about the Fedra guy, the teacher, whatever, the head teacher, but not really?
Yeah, the councilman advisor person.
Councilman advisor.
Yeah, because it's
like I'm trying to shoot me through several walls.
He might be.
He was like, he's above us! Aimed a gun through walls.
Oh my god.
Oh, is he gonna come round?
How is he moving around like this? I can't hear him! Why isn't he coming for us? You want Batman to be coming for you? Like, okay, sure. Yeah, I think it's I think he
backpedaled! He backpedaled right underneath the glass I was waiting to break to destroy him! This guy's so fucking stupid!
Oh my god. Yeah, I thought his inclusion was very important because we were about to get a sequence where we were about to have Riley
bad-mouthing Fedra.
Yeah, bad-mouthing Fedra.
We've got to at least give a little bit of leeway to the fascists, Hey! Look! Look!
Hmm?
Referencing subtle logo design. Definitely not
Industries.
Definitely not giving away your secret identity there, Oliver.
It's an arrow.
It's about as subtle as Wayne Tower being constructed in the shape of a bat, Bruce. I'm not kidding, that's actually a thing in the Lego game.
Oh my god.
You fly up above Wayne Tower in Lego Batman 2 and you just look down and Wayne Tower is just a bat symbol. I know it's Lego Batman, but that's a little bit far fucking fetched.
Yeah.
Hey look, it's time for more stealth tanks. Anyway, continue talking about Last of Us while I stealth tank.
Yeah, without that guy it'd be much easier to just agree completely with Riley.
Yes.
As opposed to making the issue a little more grey.
Yeah, which is a somewhat difficult pill to swallow after the whole Kansas City Fedra situation.
Yeah.
If that wasn't a thing, I'd be more, it's like, because Fedra are just shown as, they're barely surviving, they're planning to actually, in the game, they're actually planning to piss off and leave Boston. Is it Boston that the game starts in?
Maybe?
Yeah, I think it's Boston. They're actually planning to basically... They're using the Fireflies as scapegoats to basically leave the city. So the Fireflies are trying to escape as well. Because they know that, like, something's about to go down, but then, you know, the Ellie situation basically means we can't do that, so that's, you know, well, anyway.
Yes.
But I mean, in the game, it's like I'd be, you know, it's like maybe, yeah, okay, maybe there is a viewpoint on Fedra. You know, they're not as awful as oh fuck. Oh shit! I may have just been fucking.
They're not as awful as the Fireflies are saying.
Yes, or you know, I mean, you know, they're just in the Fireflies' way for bringing the world back to what it's supposed to be. Oh, I haven't got the double dash. That's what I forgot to get. That's why I need to get.
Well, that's how they perceive it, at least.
Yes, yeah. But no, yeah, you were saying about Riley.
Yes, Riley's, you know, firmly on the side of the Fireflies, and that makes sense to her.
Maybe not the side of the Angels, but definitely on the side of the Fireflies.
Yeah.
She is really tall as well compared to Ellie. That was really funny, seeing them stand next to each other and Riley just being massive.
Something I thought was funny was that they drank a little more of that whiskey than they did
in the game, yeah.
And I swear Ellie spat it out after she tried it.
In the game, she really can't. She's like totally nah.
Oh my god!
In the show, she's got a bit more bravado, as she's like, oh yeah, really nice, love it.
Yeah. But yeah, the mall stuff was all as
cool as in the game.
As it was in the game.
Yeah.
The Mortal Kombat, the fact that they actually got to play Mortal Kombat, that was nice.
I don't know, I kind of wish, I mean, it would have been difficult for them to make a game, I guess, is, you know, an extra game.
Yeah.
Like the turning, because I mean, that's the whole point in the game. You play Riley's, you know, fictional depiction of the turning, don't you?
Yeah. You also get to you also get to sit on Jack X.
Yes.
On a Jack X thing and get the trophy. Sorry about Jack X. I played it and it was all right. I didn't continue it because racing games aren't really my shtick.
Yes.
So I wouldn't know if it's like actually bad. Maybe it's just
bad as a racing game.
Yeah, maybe it's just because you know. But then again, everyone loved Crash Team Racing, and that was similarly a racing game that they did after a trilogy of you know, action-adventure platformer style games. So I don't know, maybe it really was bad. But yeah, the guy who spoils all the fun came and got a fight scene.
I think it was actually more intense, but it was only one infected chasing and attacking them compared to the army that attacks them in the game.
Yeah.
Because I actually...
It made it feel more like it was, you know, I don't know, personal in some way, like it was like they just encountered... Because it could have just been like a serial killer or something, you know?
What are the function of these lights?
Which, like, oh.
These ones that are just sticking out of the, just here, beaming up to the sky.
Oh, I think I've got it. So basically, that's for grabbing a person and shoving their head.
Alright, I see, yeah.
You have a name.
Oh, that's exactly what you just did. Perfect.
You know what? Something I didn't actually understand until I watched you play Left Behind was because obviously they're being chased by lots and lots of infected, but then they only get attacked by 2, and once those 2 are dead, they're unbothered by all those other infected.
I know, Alfred.
I think you actually see in the background, if you happen to look, and I think you did happen to look, that like the infected get like trapped or they fall down into like there's like a because you see Riley jump and then Ellie has to jump as well over a thing, and I think that deals with a load of the infected in one fell swoop. They all just like fall down to a lower bit of the mall. And then the last 2 are the ones that actually bite the pair in the game. I think those ones, obviously Ellie and Riley deal with them, but they're from, like, they come out from somewhere else. They weren't with that massive group chasing you. But I never understood that. I always thought, every time I played that bit, I was always like, where did the rest of the infected go?
To the clock tower once it's complete.
But that's just a minor thing, because I think the show did well in the fact that they just made it one really intense fight with one infected as opposed to being chased by a fucking horde, which is, I think, is possibly more infected than you see in the entire main game. You know.
Yeah.
But that's going back to the likes of why did Joel have to fall on rebar, and it's because if it was just like one guy, then you'd use your epic gamer skills and stealth kill it, and then suddenly the timeline's different.
Oh no, I just mean, it could have still been a smaller group of guys. It just didn't need to be.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, it could have been a smaller.
A fuck ton. It didn't. There is that. Like, it's the fact that there's more. I think infected chasing you. We don't call them zombies. We never call them zombies.
Don't use the Z word here.
Yes, we do not use. They are infected or they are clickers. I'm fairly sure we don't actually see a horde that big in the first game. In Left Behind, that's the biggest horde we see. I'm fairly sure.
Yeah, you might be right about that. Unless you can see something, like they did in the show where they saw all of those infected on the floor.
Right. As opposed to ones you actually deal with, you just see them.
Yeah.
Well, I guess there's the load chasing them in the cutscene where after Joel drops the sniper, isn't there? With Henry and Sam, I think that's quite a lot, but again, that's a cutscene. But I guess that is still the characters dealing with that many infected, but they just run away, which I guess is what Ellie and Riley do. Joel and Riley. In a different universe, Riley is immune. And Joel's like, why the fuck am I dealing with this Firefly kid?
Yes, so, yeah, they get bitten and everything, and, it's... The tone of it is so different.
Well, I guess... Because... the game, the DLC was constructed on the basis that you played the game first. So, I think the end of Left Behind, even though it's really somber because you know that Riley's not going to make it and you know that Ellie is, and that's really sad for both of them.
Yeah.
They're intended as different things. The episode was the end of the episode as you said, has a different intention than the game, because the game I think actually has a bit more hopeful spin. That's why I think that needle drop works really well, because it's both we're going to keep fighting, we're going to keep going, but you obviously know that's pretty much that's going to be your last experience, The Last of Us, until part 2 comes out. So it's got to leave you with some levity, while the show is very much like, okay, we're going to drop that and we're going to go back into the main plot with Joel being healed, getting sewn up. That's why I think they might have. There's a different tone, as you were saying, but
and the way that Riley is in tears in the show, and they're both broken and terrified in the show compared to the game where Riley seems to have accepted it rather well.
Yeah.
Comparatively, at least.
Or she's just better at hiding.
Oh, yeah, that could also be it.
I mean, I think she's a little bit more... she's fucking dealt with clickers on her own as like an initiation in the game. Ow. While you get the sense that she's not as kind of well respected in the show version of the Fireflies. Who fucking got a medic up? When I punch a medic onto the floor, I expect them to stay down.
But,
what's worse than 2 medics, Bradley?
3?
3 medics. Oh shit, and a turret coming back to life.
Yeah,
any final thoughts on that?
I just I feel like mentioning the what is it, the after the flashback finishes and runs it, the fact that Joel was awake for all that.
Yeah,
that was gnarly. Jeez.
God, when you see that just bit of skin, oh, that was yeah.
And he grabs under her arm.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, this is painful.
I think he's definitely going to be unconscious from the pain for most of the next episode.
Jesus. But yeah. So of course there weren't any antibiotics or anything for disinfecting. Oh, Cobblepot Manor!
Yes.
Oh my god! Like, Oswald Cobblepot. Oswald Cobblepot. I'm amazed how tricky I managed to make that sound to pronounce. But yeah, no antibiotics, of course, or disinfectants or anything, so next episode should go just like it we expected to, where she meets the guys and she's like, I need medicine.
Riddler,
give me your medicine.
Give me your medicine.
Or I put one right between your eyes.
Yep. That, because next episode is Ellie's episode for sure.
I wonder how they're going to adapt David.
As do I. It's going to be...
It's interesting, because from the... Oh, did you see the preview? Because for the first time in ages, there was a preview at the end of the episode, at the end of the credits this time.
I saw that... Well, I didn't see the preview myself, but I did see that people were...
reacting to the preview.
Reacting and being like, whoa, look at this! And it's just a guy in the burning restaurant, presumably. I'm thinking, oh my god, they're doing the burning restaurant thing?
Oh, why not? But I mean, well, they're at least showing the restaurant before it's burned to a crisp. But what's interesting to me is that they don't, from the preview, they don't seem to know that Ellie's connected with Joel and...
Oh, that's a good point.
From the preview, it actually seems like there's David's... I mean, the main question is, are they going to do the implied paedophile thing? That's a way to end this stream, isn't it? That statement.
I don't see why they wouldn't. I don't see why they wouldn't.
Because it makes me like, I mean, we already know this. Well, there's fucking cannibals. Do they have to be pedos as well? Or does he have to be a pedo as well? It just seems unnecessary.
I guess so. But I don't know. They did it in the game, and it was.
Yeah, but it was more implied. I feel like it's going to be. I don't know whether they'll.
I'll say this. I wouldn't like them to make it any more explicit than they did in the game.
No, yeah, it definitely needs to stay like as it. Oh, don't knock out the weakest one.
But I mean, it doesn't have to be that bad and that traumatic for any of these things he has to go through.
No, but I mean, I just think that the cannibal's enough. It's, but, you know, basically, because it would be interesting if, to some extent, like, they're cannibals, they're fucking crazy and evil, but maybe, you know, it would be an interesting flip on what happened in the game if David actually isn't trying to kill, eat, or the other thing, Ellie.
Yeah.
You know, because in the preview he's saying stuff like, you know, she's gonna die out there on her own. And that's an interesting thing to be the main thing he says, because that's what either the last line of the preview or it's the most significant thing he says in it. You know, what if they've dropped that element of his character and, you know, it is actually kind of played as, you know, that first interaction with David where, you know, he's an ally and there's quite a few parallels with Joel for him in that scene where where she's fighting with David the same way she used to fight with Joel when you were playing as Joel in the game.
Yeah.
And,
I need you to stay calm,
you know, it's like people have, you know, like there are,
was the arsonist your crew has
David is just a version of Joel that took a even darker path.
Sure? I haven't seen
You know, who had even less moral lines to cross than Joel. So, what if they do remove the really, really horrible, nasty stuff about David and just make him, you know, so there's actually a perspective that maybe, you know, Ellie actually at some point does consider if Joel does die, maybe this is a safe place, and then she finds out about the cannibalism and all that shit.
Yes.
You know, I don't know. That I just think that would be interesting.
Yeah, making it more ambiguous.
To make him less evil.
Obviously evil and...
Yeah. Make it more of a kind of a conflict for Ellie rather than just mentally as like what she has to decide whether she's going to, you know, accept that Joel might not recover, as opposed to the whole he wants to eat me.
Yeah.
And the thing is that she's trying to survive.
Yes.
But yes, I don't know. It will be interesting to see what they do, and it will be Monday we find out, and and that the penultimate episode. So.
I don't want them to change that moment because it's, and by that moment I mean right before where Joel and Ellie reunite, right before.
Oh right, where she like fucking absolutely destroys the guy.
Yeah, and you know Joel and Ellie have the hug, and that's.
I think they're definitely going to have the hug. It looks like it's not actually going to be in the restaurant burning anymore, though.
Oh, right.
Because that bit where he grips her, like where he holds her face and makes her look at him so that she knows it's him. They show a bit of that in the trailer, and it's outside in the snow.
Oh.
So it looks like...
I just really like this... Maybe I read too far into it, but I really like the symbolism of the two of them finding comfort in each other as everything burns around them.
Well, I mean, it's burning in the background.
Okay, that'll do.
Bradley's happy now.
And then, like, the fact that it cuts to black there, as if, you know, it doesn't even need to mention that they'll get out of it okay. But, like, sure, it's burning around, but, you know, we'll get out of it. We'll just...
Do you want to know something about the game?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So, in that scene, because obviously Ellie stops hearing exactly what Joel says, he just said, you know, the kind of like the shock and stuff gets to her, and it just goes like a white pitchy noise, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But you can see Joel's talking to her and stuff. So, and when they were doing that scene, Neil Druckmann said to Troy Baker, he basically says, you know, say whatever you want to say here, just, you know, to console her and, you know, whatever, but make sure the one thing I need you to say is baby girl. Which is funny because it was Troy Baker who actually came up with baby girl for Sarah.
Really?
in that scene with Sarah when he tucks her into bed, he just added good night baby girl. And then so it's funny that then came back with Neil saying, we're keeping that in.
That was great.
By the way, you now need to say that with Ellie, and you can say anything else to console her. They probably didn't know if they were gonna mute it at that point, but like, you know, but the thing that you need to say is, I've got you, baby girl. And that's just like, hearing them talk about those games is almost as affecting as actually playing them, because it's just the thought they put into so much stuff is ridiculous. Especially when, you know, you get the sense that some people just do stuff because they think it'll look nice or work nice or whatever, but when you hear those guys talk about how they made those games and all the tiny, you know, like the fact that basically anyone can suggest something and Neil Druckmann will say, okay, let's try it out on set. That is just such a good way of working, I think, for something like this, and it gave us possibly two of the best games of all time. But yeah, I'm not a Last of Us shill. What are you talking about? I'll never escape those allegations. Shall we, any last things? Shall we finish up with a heist, or do you want to just leave it there?
Finish up with a heist?
The Bank of Gotham is being robbed.
Oh, the Bank of Gotham is being robbed. I feel like that's a good place to end it, is the thing, because...
Yeah, no, well, we can always start with the Bank of Gotham next time, can't we? In fact, that's what we actually like to do often, isn't it? Have something meaningless in the background.
Yeah.
Is Two-Face just being edgy? Yeah, let's leave it here.
We ended up not talking about the whole actors thing.
Well, yeah, but that might take a while because we've got to think. So
yeah,
and it gives you more time to come up with it.
Yeah.
And it means that we've got two topics for next week with the Batman film ranking. If you have a chance to watch Lego Batman this week.
Yeah. Last of Us. There'll be another Last of Us.
Yes, we'll only have one Last of Us to cover, which will give us more time for the other stuff. Yeah, so that'll work out. Okay, I am going to end the broadcast. Wait, we've got 1 minute until it's 2 hours exactly.
Oh, damn.
If you like pina coladas.
Take on me. I really like that scene. Wait,
yes.
The escalator scene wasn't in the game, I don't think.
No, I think they go down escalators, and I think Ellie does go, I can't believe these are working, and I think she does comment on it because she's never used one before, but she doesn't make a massive deal of it to the same extent she does in the show. Yep. I know English.
Yeah. The Rip Brickmaster, that would have been cool. Except
that would have been cool. Okay, 4, 3, goodbye, 2, 1.